Hi, this is Vince, Auto Restoration Videos. Today we're going to be working on an 82 Porsche 911. We seem to have a malfunctioning gas tank sensor, which will have to be replaced. It's a pretty simple job, so just follow along with me. We should have no problems getting this done. Now this is what they look like. These are just two pieces of foam that were in the package for shipping, so it don't jump around. Now, before we install this in the gas tank, which is in the front of the car, there's a little pin in here that kind of like locks it together during shipment, just like on a record player, all right, or a computer. I mean a printer. You got to take that couple tape out or something, you know. It's the same deal with this. All right, we have to take this tape off and take that little pin out. Then it releases something in there. Since I don't have x-ray vision, I don't know what it is. Probably a little float or something, I don't know. And you're good to go. Now we have to do, take the old one out, put the new one in. Only one problem though. This one doesn't have a gasket on it. So I'm going to check, when I get the other one out, I'm going to find out how good that gasket is. The chances are I'm going to have to make my own out of, you know, something I have laying around. Some old gasket material. Well, new old stock, let's say. So now we're going to move this camera. We're going to set it up so you can actually see what I'm doing under the hood here. Before I get started, don't forget to check out my website, autorestorationvideos.com. Click on my Facebook link, and you're going to find all kinds of free mini training videos, and I'm sure you really like it. Most of my stuff on here right now is on upholstery. Right now it's the door panels, but we're going to be moving on, doing the whole interior on this car. 82 Porsche. I hate to interrupt the doctor here in the middle of his operation. I got a newscast for you. If on your Porsche you notice your fuel gauge going up and down like this as you drive, chances are the plastic plug that goes in the bottom of your fuel sensor tube has fell out, and it's in the bottom of your gas tank somewheres. Now with that plug in, what happens is the gas slowly seeps into that tube, and this way when your car rolls around, you know, goes up and down, it won't matter too much because it's kind of locked in with that plug on the bottom of the tube. But you take that plug out, now it's susceptible to all the fuel in that tank going like the wave action and everything, and that's what your gas gauge is going to do. So if that's your problem, take out your old fuel sending unit, get a little tiny flashlight with a long prong with a mechanical fingers on it. Go in there and see if you can find it, dig it out, stick it back in your tube, put a couple aluminum rivets in there, and you'll be good to go. And you won't have to replace your fuel sending unit. Thought I saved you some money. Now this gas tank is located right underneath your rug in the front of the car. What you will need is a 1/4 inch drive, 8mm ratchet. Now you notice there is a little square bracket on top here. That's going to have to come off so we can get at the little clip that's on top, our connector, to get that off. The first thing you want to do before you even start taking anything off is get yourself a little broom and brush all around this, so when you do take it off, nothing falls inside the tank. I loosened these up about a second ago. There's a little washer on there too. You want to make sure you get off, or else it could get lost. This one's stuck. Here it comes. Just take that bracket right off. Put that aside. This plug should just come right up, right off. Push that aside. I'm going to go ahead and take the rest of the screws out and start to lift it out. Check out that washer in there. You might want to make sure you get the orientation right of the new one that you're going to put on. Because there might be a problem with how this line goes back on your connector. I'm putting a mark next to the prong with the copper going to ground. See this one right here? The copper going to ground? So when I take this off, I'll be able to install this one in the exact same location. I'm going to have to get myself a little screwdriver, looks like, because it's stuck. I'm going to just try to pull it right up. Gasket looks good under there. I'm going to go ahead and put this outside so it doesn't drip. The gasket's looking real good. I see no reason why that gasket can't be used again. Now let's get our little tag off here. If you forget this, your pump will never work. Just that little tiny pin you got to take out. Take off your foam padding. Line up your copper lead. Put your little clip back on. One post goes actually on the outside of the connector to lock it into place. I thought that was part of what goes in here in the connector, but it's not. Let's go ahead and put our little clamp back on. Then put our washers back on. Put our nuts back on. You might have to push down on it a little bit to have more of your threaded post sticking out. Make sure you don't cross thread them. Get them finger tightened before you start to crank them down with your little wrench. Well, you got the idea. I'm going to go ahead and tighten down the rest of the screws now. I had to take the cover off and take the plug out. So you would have a hard time really getting that nut in with this wire being in the way. That's why you should put that thing on first. And while you're at it, you might as well put the one on across from it. Don't over tighten it. Don't over tighten it. Now put your piece back on. Put these back on. I'm going to go ahead and put my screws back on now. Well, that's about it. You don't want to use one of those big 3/8 ratchet on this thing. You could over tighten it because you just want to compress that rubber gasket in there just a little bit. You don't want to squash it down so it squashes out completely. Well, this is Vince, Auto Restoration Videos. And I wish all the jobs went like that. That was a piece of cake. I'd say it took me whatever this video was, 10 minutes or something? Well, that's about it. Make sure you check out my website, autorestorationvideos.com. Click on my Facebook link to find free mini training videos there about all kinds of stuff on upholstery and what kind of gripes I have going on against the upholstery business in general. Okay, guys, good luck working on your cars. Make sure you have the right tools to complete the job before you even start. All right, we'll see you soon.